What is up, YouTube? It's Grinch, and today we're going to review the top 10 most expensive Jurassic Park and World minifigures ever released. Before we get into the video, I wanted to mention that all of the prices that I used are the current average listed selling price on Bricklink. And lastly, I wanted to thank you for watching my video and ask that you please like, subscribe, and join in the conversation in the comment section below. Without further ado, let's get right into the video. So to start things out at number 10, we have Alan Grant with water stains from the 2022 set, the T-Rex Breakout. This version of Alan Grant currently costs $15.33, and you can still find him on shelf in the set that he was released in to this day. This minifigure is an iconic version of Alan Grant that depicts him, with the water marks and the water stain from that famous scene with the T-Rex and the flare when he breaks out in the first movie, and will surely be a minifigure to remember in years to come. In 9th place, we have Zack from Jurassic World. This version of Zack currently costs $15.52, and he was released in one set, the Indominus Rex Breakout, in 2015. I was surprised to see this minifigure on this list, considering there's really nothing exclusive about him. His face is the most exclusive piece, and that was actually featured in another minifigure. Otherwise, all of his parts are relatively easy to get. I think for a while this was the only version of Zack available, and he came out in a relatively expensive set, so that's definitely had to drive up his price over time. I would have thought the Dr. Wu featured in the same set would be more expensive. However, he is not on this list, and my guess is because he was also released in a smaller poly bag, so there was a cheaper way to get him. So Zack became that chase minifigure from this set. Otherwise, you just had two generic Jurassic World minifigures. So at number 9 on this list, we have Zack from 2015. In 8th place, we have Dennis Nedry from Jurassic Park. Dennis Nedry currently costs $15.89. Dennis Nedry was released in one set, the T-Rex Rampage from 2019, and it's that iconic Jurassic Park gate set. He is the first minifigure from that set that we will see on this list. We're going to see many more. Spoiler alert for this list. And that is the most large and expensive Jurassic Park set to date, and that certainly helps drive up a lot of the prices of these minifigures on the secondary market. And in 7th place, we have Ian Malcolm from Jurassic Park. Currently, this version costs $17.07, and this was the Ian Malcolm that was released in that T-Rex Rampage set from 2019 that we just looked at with Dennis Nedry. This is just a iconic, clean version of Ian Malcolm with his open shirt that everybody loves from the movie. It's kind of a meme at this point, but overall just a really, really solid figure, and our first appearance of Ian Malcolm on this list. The minifigure in 6th place actually really surprised me. The 6th most expensive minifigure is Yaz from Camp Cretaceous set that was released in 2021. Yaz currently costs $18.07. This version of Yaz was only released in one set, the Baryonyx Dinosaur Boat Escape from 2021, and I think that set didn't sell very well. I know it's quite expensive for the number of pieces. It also came with that big boat hull, so that was the majority of the price, and if you didn't want the boat hull, then you really didn't want this set. Otherwise, there was kind of that rehash of the Baryonyx. That was the worst version of the Baryonyx. So I think this set just didn't sell well, and that's really driven up the price for this minifigure, because that was the only way you could get Yaz. And if you liked Camp Cretaceous, you wanted to get all the minifigures from that series. So people were willing to spend, the $18 on the secondary market to just get the minifigure alone without having to buy the set. In 5th place, we have our next version of Ian Malcolm. This is the Ian Malcolm with water stains from Jurassic Park. This version of Ian Malcolm just narrowly beats out our number 6 minifigure Yaz by 1 cent and comes in at $18.80. $0.98. This version of Ian Malcolm was released in that T-Rex breakout set from 2022 and represents Ian Malcolm from that famous scene of the T-Rex breakout with the rain and the flare in that first movie. I think this means that people like Ian Malcolm a little bit more than Alan Grant, at least in minifigure form. That's up for debate. Movie-wise, I've always been a fan of Alan Grant, but he is more expensive than Alan Grant from that same set, by a few dollars. So let me know in the comments, do you like Ian Malcolm or Alan Grant more? I'm curious to see what everybody thinks down in the comment section below. And if you were going to guess the fourth minifigure on this list was also an Ian Malcolm, then you are absolutely right. In fourth, we have our last Ian Malcolm featured on this list, who currently costs $18.90. This version of Ian Malcolm was released in the Bricktober minifigure pack from 2018, and he is the most expensive version of Ian Malcolm that's ever been released. I think that's partly because, it's just a very clean version of Ian, and it was difficult to get that Bricktober pack. I think it was a gift with purchase, so it's harder to get this minifigure than just buying the set off the shelf. So there is that price to entry from that. So overall, this is the most expensive version of Ian Malcolm, as well as the first version of Ian Malcolm ever released. The third most expensive minifigure from Jurassic Park and World is Ray Arnold. Ray Arnold currently costs $22.05, and he is our first minifigure over $20 on this list. This version of Ray Arnold was released in the T-Rex Rampage set from 2019 and represents Ray Arnold in his famous Jurassic Park lab coat. This is the only version of Ray Arnold that we've ever gotten, and he will surely remain collectible for years to come. I just love the torso and leg printing for that lab coat, and you could just get multiple of these minifigures just to get that torso and leg printing. And also to mention, it's Samuel L. Jackson. It's an iconic character. Hold on to your butts, right? We've got two more characters on this list, but Ray Arnold comes in at number 3. The second most expensive minifigure on this list might actually surprise you. It's Barry from Jurassic World. Currently, Barry costs $23.85. He was released in one set in 2015, the Raptor Rampage set from the Jurassic World movie. It surprised me to see him this high on the list, to be completely honest. He's really only a secondary character in the movie. I know he's in Jurassic World Dominion, but he didn't really play a big role in that movie at all. He was just kind of there. He wasn't in Fallen Kingdom, so overall, it just surprised me to see him on this list. I think, really he is a liked character, and he was also in a really liked Lego set, so that's helped drive up the price. Not only is it the only time we ever got to see Barry, but it's, also in a very, very good set that people wanted to buy because it came with like 2 really cool Raptors. So I think that's helped increase the price of Barry. However, nonetheless, Barry comes in at number 2 as the second most expensive Jurassic Park or World minifigure. And finally, in first place on this list, we have none other than the founder and creator of Jurassic Park himself, Mr. John Hammond. John Hammond is currently the most expensive minifigure on this list, coming in at $27.05. He was released in the T-Rex Rampage set in 2019 and is just a great minifigure overall. His dual molded arms look great, and his face printing captures that character so well in my opinion, and frankly I think it's fitting that he comes in at number 1 on this list. He will surely be a collectible figure for years to come. And that wraps up the top 10 most expensive Jurassic Park and World minifigures. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and joining in the conversation in the comment section below. Let me know which figure from the top 10 is your favorite. Otherwise, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.